Hey, welcome, welcome in. All right, Mike is good. Come on in, guys. We're gonna have a little chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, guys. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Star. Round seven. Welcome in, guys. I am so happy to be here with you all today. And thank you for joining me for another psychic investigation. Welcome in, Sister Gail. Nice to see you here. Hopefully, it won't get too deep today. But what I like about the psychic investigation is that we get to explore all angles of the case. And what we do in this channel, we just allow the energy to guide us to where we need to be. And so something very interesting came up yesterday that I did not get to actually uncode. There was another automatic drawing that I did yesterday, and it felt as if I couldn't assign an energy to. Wasn't Candace, wasn't Trump, was it Charlie or Erica? It could be both of their energies together. So I want to explore because when you're doing any investigation, you never want to say, oh, this person's innocent, or this person did it, right? So I want to explore to see, is Erica and Charlie working together? And we're going to go over some red flags, right? That I found in the case, right? So before we do that, guys, let me just officially welcome you to the channel. Welcome into Instructions for Humanity, Sphere of Consciousness. It is your girl, Tahirah, Mother of the Ages. Guys, more than half of you guys who watch me on a regular basis are not subscribed to this channel. Please subscribe to the channel. I put my heart, my soul, my passion into this because this is much bigger than just a psychic investigation here and there, a spiritual teaching here or there. I am here to lead us into the higher sphere of consciousness, aka New Earth. And in order to get there, we literally have to leave the old world behind. I'm here to help us shatter these paradigms, right, of the false religion, false gods, false people, false systems, false governments, right? And so that we can make sense of those things, learn the lessons, and then rise to a higher state of consciousness. So please subscribe to the channel. And when you come and put a like on the video, welcome in, guys. I'll let a few more of you guys come in. Hi, Carol. Hi, Sister Carolyn. Hi, Petsy. Hi. Hi, Runinta. Runinta. Okay. I hope I pronounced that right. Welcome in. So, let me give you a background, and I'm going to try to make this really easy for the people who have not been following the series. There's over 28 videos in this series. So, it can be a little confusing if you're just joining, but I'm going to explain it in a way where even if you're popping in new for the first time, you'll be able to understand this. So, what I do, let me break it down to you. I'm a supernatural quantum healer, a psychic investigator, all of that good stuff. Simply what I do is I work with something called source codes. And what are source codes? Source codes are literally DNA. Literally, your DNA is a code. Your DNA is a map. Your DNA has God in there. It has literally lifetimes of information, the Akashic records, all of that good stuff right into your DNA. And when you do your DNA activations, you will be able to uncode this stuff. See, guys, when they say the junk DNA, the reason why the scientists call that junk is because those are your source codes. They can't uncode it, but if you are an enlightened one, if you're a chosen one, you have access to that information. And that's what I use. And so the universe is literally here with me, uncoding all of these things. And so, yes, I am supernatural. I get messages from the universe all the time, and it helps me here crack the code, right? Crack the codes of consciousness, right? So here's the thing. I want to explore, I want to tell you about energy for a moment. We're going to explore Erika Kirk. We're going to explore that. You guys been here. Her energy, I mean, it hasn't really been a loving wife energy. There really hasn't been, I really have not been able to connect with her as a, electrical charged soul essence being. I've not been able to really connect with her in that way. And that's really strange because typically, this is what you might find if someone is replaced or unalived or just really, really unconscious, like an NPC unconscious. Like, this is the level that we're dealing with. And to be honest with you, I don't want to. It's easy for us to blame the woman. It is. And I don't want to just say, hey, she's a witch and she did witchcraft, although that did come up lots of times. But let's try to give her a benefit of the doubt in this video and just see what the energy has to say. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. As far as Charlie, there's still some very interesting things. A few days after, well, actually, before Charlie Kirk passed away, I was channeling Trump passes away. And I literally wrote down JFK, like JFK style. Well, it wasn't Trump, it was Charlie. And the interesting thing about that is through the psychic investigation, we found that literally Charlie was literally through quantum entanglement in Trump's energy field. Now, I deal with energy fields. So you have a body and you have literally everything going on with you, but you also have a energy field, an auric field. The people in your field, the energies in your field, whether that be malevolent, benevolent, intergalactic, extraterrestrial, whatever, human, those are fields. That's what I'm talking about. Charlie was soul tethered to Donald Trump's field. Now, we may say he was soul tethered through him looking up to him, wanting to be a president one day or a governor, right? So I actually found one of my earlier channels and for Charlie. And this is something I actually never mentioned because I lost the piece of paper, but I wrote on it Atlanta Gold Rush. And I found that very interesting because I was channeling that Charlie was in talks about going to Atlanta, specifically about running for some sort of political office there. And it was interesting that he put Gold Rush next to it. Now, when I talk about Atlanta, I'm also, I think, talking about Atlantis, this sort of Atlantis, this sort of magical world, this new world energy, this very very plush, robust energy field, right? This is how he viewed Atlanta, and this is how Charlie viewed the field of Atlanta within the whatever governmental, position that he would be running for. So he looked at that like a opportunity to take his dream to the next level, because let's not forget Charlie Kirk is a YouTuber, or was a YouTuber, but yet still is a YouTuber. But that was going to be his next leg up. So it was very interesting that, so I was getting the gold rush energy. And very early on, I had said that my verdict early on, I was getting the vibe that Charlie Kirk was still present with us, but also too that he's not sovereign. Still present, meaning still alive, yes, in consciousness. I deal with consciousness. You guys know what I believe. Your body is just a shell. Your body literally is like the hardware of a computer. But all of your apps and applications, that's the software. That's the true person, the soul, the spirit, the consciousness, the awareness, the DNA, and all of that. There are portions of that of Charlie, which is still, I'm hearing radioactive. And I'm really going to equate this to his consciousness. But just because your consciousness is still alive does not necessarily mean that you are. And I know it gets difficult when I mean you, I mean the body. So there has been a conflict within Charlie Kirk's energy field since the beginning. So I'm splitting him up in two at this point. Body is in bondage, but consciousness is still with us. And source is saying it's radioactive. So whatever that means, right? I'm going to actually look that up because I think that's important. What does radioactive mean? A substance contains unstable atoms that spontaneously emit energy and particles called radiation as they decay into a more stable form. Oh my. This is what I'm channeling for Charlie. Radioactive. So it says radioactive means a substance contains unstable atoms, which were all made up of atoms, that spontaneously emit energy. So he's still emitting some sort of energy. And particles called radiation as they decay into more stable form. That's interesting because it's kind of the two-part thing. You're getting decay energy, which is kind of death energy, which is, like I said, the lower part of him, his body at least, is in bondage, but the consciousness is still intact. The consciousness is still radioactive. Part of him is with us, part of him is in bondage. So this is kind of verifying, at least to this point, what I am saying, right? So I want to just put that out there. It's very interesting that then last week, I got a very interesting tip coming in from the spirit realm. What was the interesting tip? It was I get a lot of prophetic dreams, visions inside of dreams. I got a very peculiar one, and it was a dream about Charlie Kirk. Someone was texting him. I saw a text message thread, and they were telling him about a particular commodity that was about to drop in price. And what I saw that this commodity was something that tracked the overall stock market. So we can look at that like the SPY, right? The S&P 500. But it was something like that that was, very influential in the market, right? Even we could think about Bitcoin in the crypto space. We could think about Bitcoin also being of that stature as well. And so I saw this text message thread in my mind's eye inside of the dream. And I had awareness, right? That I wasn't supposed to be seeing it. So I was like focusing, I have to know what's going on, right? So someone was texting him, hey, this is going to go down. This is going to go to the floor, is kind of what they were saying. And then I saw behind him a blue background. So at first I thought blue for Democrats, right? But then I started to put two and two together. I think the blue is like the Israeli flag has blue in it. It's blue and white. And then it was interesting. Cut to the next clip I saw in my mind. Charlie was sitting in a dimly lit office space, like his office. And he was almost like I felt like he was drinking bourbon or some sort or whiskey or a Manhattan or some sort of drink of that stature. And he was like he had about seven people in the room with him, and they were kind of like after the win, they were kind of just proud of what they've accomplished, but particularly Charlie. And Charlie was in a suit. Now I'm remembering he was in a suit, and it was a very tailored suit. And he had the office was completely blue. There's that blue again. And for me, blue also in the spirit realm means deception. Not always, but a lot of the times it can mean that, right? Depending on the hue of it. And so I gotta, that was very, it was a dream, but it was very vivid. I'm like, why would I be shown this out of everything? Why would I be shown insider trading? Especially if he's supposed to be passed away. Now I want to show you guys something that has been circulating online with a certain someone making $192 million off of insider trading last week when the floor fell out of the crypto space. People are calling this insider trading. And I'm almost want to explore, is this what I was seeing? Now, people are speculating that it was Barron Trump who made the $192 million. But why would I see Charlie? Why would I see Charlie's text message thread? So I want to just show you guys what it is that I am talking about here. Okay.
In 2 hours. How does $1 million in 2 hours? How does somebody make $192 million in 2 hours? Okay, here's what happened. So I'm sure you watched or heard about the markets having a wild swing this past weekend. What triggered it was Trump announced on Friday new massive tariffs on China, 100% tariffs. And this immediately caused the markets to take a complete nosedive. And then when the White House called China over the weekend to negotiate, China didn't even bother to pick up the phone. So Sunday rolls around, and with the markets taking a total crap and China not even playing ball, Trump pretty much on Sunday had no choice but to reverse course and said, he put this message out on his Truth Social: don't worry about China. It will all be fine. Highly respected President Xi just had a bad moment. He doesn't want depression for his country, and neither do I. The USA wants to help China, not hurt it. Okay, so here is how the person made $192 million in 2 hours. Unusual Whales on Twitter is an account that scans the crypto markets for unusually large activity. And it quickly spotted a brand spanking new crypto wallet with no previous activity that made the $192 million. This is what Unusual Whales put out. Breaking, look at this. A new crypto account was opened yesterday morning, 30 minutes before Trump's announcement of 100% tariffs on China. It added a huge multi-million-dollar leveraged Bitcoin short position for YF. The market dumped. The trader made a profit of $192 million in 2 hours. Unusual. So someone suspiciously opened a brand new account just 30 minutes before Trump's tariff announcement and shorted the market with a leveraged position. So let me explain this to you if you're not familiar with what this means. So shorting is borrowing someone else's stock, or in this case, crypto, and telling them you're going to return it back to them. And you're just borrowing it and you're going to return it back to them. And they're like, oh, okay, go ahead. And maybe you'll give them a bit of interest. There'll be some fees on this. Okay. So that's why they might be incentivized to do this. So let's say you borrow 3 Bitcoin or 3 shares of stock, and you tell the person you're going to return these 3 stock shares within a set window of time, plus, like I said, some interest or something. You then go to the market and you sell them for the going price. So now, you've got some money in your pocket, but you're going to have to buy back the stocks or the coins because you have to return them at some point, right? You can't just, here's the money. So your hope is, because now you have money in your pocket, your hope is that the value of the stock you just sold that you need to buy back is going to drop. You want it to drop in value. You want it to fail. I mean, this is why it's, kind of $1 million in 2 hours.
Okay, guys. So do you see what I'm saying? It's very interesting, guys, that the $192 million was literally from insider trading. And how do we know that? Do we know that for sure? No. But one could only speculate simply because here's the thing 30, 30 minutes before Trump made the 100% tariff tax on China, this person created a brand new wallet. And if you know anything about crypto, you can create wallets, you can purchase cryptos inside of, crypto wallets. And there's, so many different wallets out there. But if you are a person that trades with that much money to make $192 million, you're not just entering the game 30 minutes before. I mean, you would have done this for years and understand the market. You would not hop in, just all willy-nilly and make that amount of money. It is pointing towards insider trading. Now, I find it very, very interesting that this person took a short position on Bitcoin. And what we call that is shorting. So, a person who takes a short position, essentially, let's say Bitcoin is $120,000. And when you short the stock, you're saying that I am betting that, or not betting, but I see in the charts that Bitcoin is actually going to have a move down. So I'm going to short it. And let's say I'm going to, short it from $120,000 to 100K, right? And then they essentially sell, right? So this You're not going to be shorting a new person and making that much money. It is just not possible. And by the way, guys, there was someone says, now I didn't say this, but someone says there was 2,000 people who murked themselves because the bottom fell out of the market. They lost millions of dollars. Remember what I was saying. There was $250 billion drained out of the market. Most of that drained from Americans. And I believe this money was going to pay Israel to stop that war. Not I believe. This is what sources said. So essentially, our president, our government literally caused a radical move in the market, drained $250 billion. So a lot of that money went to pay Israel to stop genociding. Meanwhile, people's 401k crashed and burned, and everything is sky high. Do you see what I mean? You see what kind of situation we find ourselves in. But here's the thing: Trump is not just enough for him to make money. The reason why Trump was able to get into office, and I called this last year, people didn't like it, but I saw it. I saw the election as it was forming. Kamala was going to win. Even though I've always been saying Trump was going to win on this channel, something was changing in the 11th hour. I saw the energy of Kamala winning, and then all of a sudden, I felt another shift. And the shift was through, what do you call it? It was fake votes coming in. And not only that, it was Elon using quantum computers to help sway everything in Trump's favor. I saw that. Now, I'm not a political person, but I'm just telling you what it is that I saw. So, truly, he was going to lose. But in the 11th hour, I saw that happen. So, Trump was already coming into the White House with a deficit to the rich and powerful. So, who is he working for? The rich and powerful. Whose taxes have gone down since Trump has been in office? The rich and powerful. And so I find it very interesting that the person who made $192 million in 30 minutes, mind you, by shorting Bitcoin, lines up with the dream that I had of insider trading. And I saw blue all over this thing. Israeli energy and also deception energy. And so when we think about what I saw was more like the SPY, which is like the Fortune 500 companies. But Bitcoin, we would almost view Bitcoin as something that tracks the entire crypto space. Because when Bitcoin goes up, typically before altcoin season, the rest of the coins rise in price as well. So essentially, if you were to short Bitcoin, what would happen? The other coins would also take a nosedive. This is what happened. Now, I know some people are speculating that it's barren, but I find it very interesting that I saw it being Charlie Kirk. That's what I saw. Now I know we're thinking like this is kind of crazy. Like, isn't he supposed to be gone back to glory, girl? I know. It's crazy. And like I was saying yesterday, maybe this is why Erika can't because no, I'm sorry, nobody's that bad of an actor. There's no tears pouring down nowhere. No matter where you see her at, she's either smiling or fake tear crying. Some manufactured AI videos as well. So maybe that's why she can't produce a real genuine reaction. Because maybe on some level, now this is just a psychic investigation exploring this avenue, right? Maybe on some level, he's still kind of alive. Maybe on some level, the insider trading tip was his payment for Operation Charlie. We're just exploring in this video. Let's explore. We're going to have fun with energy and just see where it takes us, right? Maybe the $192 million insider trading was him being put into the big boys club. Maybe he passed the test. Maybe they're all insider trading. Maybe we are all, the bottom is falling out of our lives so that their lives can be better. And maybe Charlie is no longer just a YouTuber, but also part of this elite club, this elite class. Miss America, Miss Erika. Remember how I said the reason why Erika was chosen is because she fit the code. She was Miss America. And if you look at the word America, it actually has Erika in it. And so we get this all American woman with this all American man. And one has to think what's behind the smiles, you know? Because, you know, sometimes it's always the ones that make it look really good, nothing to see here, that there actually is more to see. Okay. Now, here's the thing, I want to share this automatic drawing that I did not share. And to be honest, I don't know who it belongs to, but I find it interesting that there's a few common threads in here. Now, if you're not used to automatic writing, what is it? It is just a tool of literally like a psychic tool. You just doodling, you just doodling. It might take you 15 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that. You don't know what it is you're writing. It's not until I look back then I can uncode some of this stuff. So here's the thing, something very interesting in this one. And if guys, if you need, because I listen to your comments, if you can't see it, please just pause the video. Okay. You'll be able to see it if you pause. And I will explain it in a way where even if you can't see it, you will still understand if you listen to the sound of my voice. Okay. So here's the thing, the common thread has been this X energy coming through. And it's interesting that now we're talking about the crypto space and there's all of those X coins, right? XLM, XRP, XCN, XPL. Like there's so many X coins, it's ridiculous. XXX. But what I find interesting is that the X coming through in all of these different, you know, channels is a mutation of Christianity. And when we talk about Christianity, what we're talking about is a vehicle of capturing energy. Because when we pour into, you know, the cross, right? Us as Americans being a Christian nation, when we pour into it, it becomes this big, massive vehicle that we have found through the psychic investigation they have been using to siphon Americans' energy. And so the X energy turned 33 degrees, the cross energy turned 33 degrees, becomes an X, which is a mutation of literally church, which Kirk means church. So when we see Operation Charlie, it's the fall of the church. And I've been saying the fall of the church would happen, the fall of religion would happen. These are just massive vehicles to move energy, to move money, to move political views. And now, especially with the Charlie Kirk situation, we found out, you know, it kind of, you know, put a tear in our reality. And, you know, we found out through this psychic investigation, black and white people have two separate gods. Who would have ever known that? You can watch the video for that. It's interesting, right? We found out that Christianity, as we know it in this country, really is a code for, you know, white nationalism. And the white nationalism, when it's radical, kind of leads us all the way far right back to the KKK energy. So essentially, like, you know, we've been able to explore how technically the cross, when it became mutated into the X, it literally brought us back around to some, you know, it brought us 400 years back to this radicalized, you know, Christian nationalism, KKK energy, right? Which, you know, which, you know, we have moved past that. At least I hope that we have. So essentially, here's an X showing up front and center. And if you can't see that, there's a lot of lines here. Here's one, two, X. So that's the mutation, right? And then there's a face here. There is eyes and a mouth. There is something there, an entity there. but it's smiling. And that's interesting because is this not supposed to be a sad event? But I guess if you got $192 million in 30 minutes, I guess you probably would be smiling. I mean, would you not? Then it's interesting. If you look closer, this looks like a C. Look, an upside down six and also a C. It looks like CO. Maybe CO for company, but also too, it's that same swirly energy. Let me show you. Remember I said Trump and Charlie. Charlie was in Trump's energy field. I'm going to show you something that lines up. I didn't even mean to come on here and put these codes together, but the codes are coding, girl. The codes are coding. Okay, I'm going to find it. Hold on. Come on. Where you at, Trump? Okay, here's the thing. Here's Trump. This is the automatic drawing I did for Trump. This is Trump's energy field. See that massive six right in the middle and all these threes, 333, 666, and I was channeling Antichrist energy. Oh my God. Guys, give me 1 second. There's an emergency. I will be right back. OMG. Someone really, they don't want me to get the message out, y'all. Oh my God. Are you guys still here? This is crazy. Okay, I'm going to wait for some of you guys. Sorry, guys. All right. I am going to put a 1 if you can still hear me. Sorry, bit of a emergency. See, these are the little key codes, guys. These are the key codes. You hear? Okay, thank you. Sorry. Sorry. I had a little emergency, a family emergency. So these are the key codes. When you know you're onto something, stuff like this happens. They don't want you to finish the message. This is just verifying. I'm telling you, there's something interesting with Erika and Charlie and this $192 million insider trading. Let's propose that Charlie is gone. But I'm telling you, that text message thread came through his phone. He was in his office celebrating, and what he said is, I can pay my staff with this. Because I think, guys, to be honest with you, I think all of those people that were on the Turning Point USA that day of the, so to speak, shooting, they did nothing to really help him. If you look at the footage, one of the guys body slammed him down to the ground, like after the, so to speak, shot. It was very weird, very chaotic. These people were given like weird military hand signals. Would it not make sense that you would have to pay some of them as well if they helped you pull off the biggest lie? Operation Charlie. Would that not make sense? Yeah, it would. Now, thanks for staying with me, by the way, guys. I love you guys. Thank you. Now it's interesting. Look at this. What did I say? Charlie was in Trump's energy field. Let's back up and show you Trump. This 6 right here is Trump. This is the current energy. And remember, Trump was fully taken over by an entity. So we don't really truly get the real Trump. I channeled this last year that he would be taken over or taken out in some capacity. But look at that 6 right there, that swirly energy. This is one of the first automatic drawings on Charlie with himself in bondage. That's his head here. That's that same 6 swirly energy. And then there's an X on the incident space. I got back of the neck, not front. And then there's his feet in bondage. And here's that X. Now, this is the 6 swirly energy that is Trump. Remember that. What do we find here in the latest automatic drawing that honestly, when I drew it, I just kind of scanned back at it. I didn't necessarily see a message, but it felt like Erika and Charlie's energy combined. Now look at this. It not only looks like a C, but it looks like that same swirly energy. And you can see it better if I turn it this way. That automatically gives me Charlie's energy. Okay? Now, this is a smiley face. It's either a man smiling, someone smiling, an energy smiling. This is Charlie's energy smiling. Just what I saw in that video with the insider trading. He was smiling, and he did make reference, I can pay my staff with this. Because I think that they would have to get payment for being involved, wouldn't you think? $1 million here, 2 million there. Now, I want to explore the rest of this because there's also the X. There's also that same mutation. And I want to look at this for a moment. See what else it is that I see. Hmm. We get the anchor again. Remember how I said his consciousness is kind of still there, but his body's being anchored down. The lower extremities are being anchored down. You look here, this line, and I'll show you guys the original one. Let me show you the original one first. X is his neck. This is his back, slumped over, sitting on his bum. Bondage, bondage to the legs. There's also another one. Hold on. This was done on the 13th of October. Oh, that's Candace. Candace Owens is in the same position as him, slumped over, weight of the world on her back, feet down, an anchor coming in to stop her movement. So she's moving into an energetic field of Charlie. I'm almost wondering if the same thing will happen to her. And when I mean same thing will happen to her, I'm talking about this presumed fake passing. Because it's almost given if you don't play ball, you get a choice. This is what it feels like. I'm exploring this. How about we just show that we kind of took you out, but no one can prove it? So it's kind of a sign not to mess with us to the world, but also to not enough to actually put any of us away. So it kind of serves a dualistic purpose. And then you get tucked away somewhere with some money away where you won't be a problem anymore. But also in some way you're forced to do the dark bidding for them. So here's the latest one that I did of Charlie on the 13th. This is the bottom part of him sitting on his bum, legs coming down here, and here's that anchor that I saw over in Candace's. Him and Candace are really sharing a field together. So now that's what I see here. We get the smiling face now, and we know that Charlie is involved within the smiling face, but this is still the bottom part of him sitting on the bum, legs coming down, feet. So that is just a verification. If you're lost, if you watch all the other videos, this is the same exact thing that has been coming up energetically. This is a confirmation that this is Charlie. Charlie is smiling. Now, could we say Charlie's smiling because he's passed away and he's happy he's gone home to glory? Yeah, we could say that, but we haven't really seen that throughout any of this psychic investigation. So, this has to do with the insider trading. Make no mistake about it. He's smiling. There's something interesting, something else interesting I see here. Look at this. This is a freaking alien. It's about to get deep, y'all. It's about to get deep. Someone said looks like a C and an E together. Ooh, I didn't explore that. Yeah. Yes, you're right. You are so right. You are so very right. It does look like a C and an E together. But y'all, there's a freaking alien here. Yo, can y'all see the alien? Yo, this is crazy. Can y'all see the alien? Look. Look at the back of the head. Look at the sharp decline here where that X is. Remember I told you that cross was mutated and turned into the X? Look, part of that line is literally this entity here, kind of a long protruding just nose. It looks like a snake. These are the lizard people. It's the lizard people, y'all. Look, look. Freaking reptilian right here. And look, if you cover this up, doesn't that look like the reptilian's eye? This right here? If we were to cover this, that would look like his eye. Who's conquering Charlie, the reptilian. Look, Charlie's body is totally engulfed and being controlled by the reptilian. And there's an interesting energy coming out of the back of the head, the neck. Look at the energy where the neck is. Where did I say that Charlie? Whoa, y'all, they didn't want me to get to this. They didn't want me to get to this, y'all. Where did I say that the energy was leading me? To the back of Charlie's neck. He's down in bondage. His head is down. The back of his neck. And that's the same energy. Lord, Lord, Lord. They didn't want me to get to this. That's the same energy here. Back of the neck. This thing, if we were to look at Charlie as someone sitting down, let's say this is his face, but let's say if we were to turn his face this way, this thing would be, this would be the back of his head. If this smile was turned over here and he was turned in the same positioning as the entity, this would be the back. And this energy leading up here, the back of the neck right here. And there's some energy leading out the back of the head. Gives me a sign for a transfer of consciousness. And also, too, what do I say? The reptilians hook in to the eye nerves, ocular nerves behind the eyes. This reptilian is the same reptilian that I saw that was in Erika Kirk's left eye. And because they are married, it's quite possible they're embodied by the same entity. We're building, guys. Stick with us. Thank you for sticking through that long break. It was kind of crazy. But here's the thing. Yeah, reptilian. Yeah, Carolyn. So here's the thing. Let's pull up what we saw about Erika. That's why I keep saying that these people are not human. And it's not about, we're not like dissing Erika and Charlie, but they're not like us, guys. Someone that can make $192 million literally has access to the president. Oh, yeah, I'm about to make the announcement that I'm putting 100% tariff tax on China. You may want to do what you need to do now. Short the market. They're not like us. I don't care how much you like these people. These people have no concern with you. They don't. Here's Erika Kirk. Remember here, every time we see the witch's nail showed up in 3 different people, separate people. It's Candace and Trump and in Erika. This is the witch's nail, which Erika also is. She also has a witch attachment. Part of the witch is her. Because remember, she's been applying the everyday witchcraft. But there's a larger witch, which is also in communion with her. And I'm going to pull that up here as soon as I find it. Okay, I see it. Here's the larger witch. Now, this is a face. Stay with me. If you can't see it, just watch me explain it. Listen to me explain it. There is that fingernail again that I keep channeling. That one looks like a thumb and a nail bed. This looks like a finger and then a pointy fingernail. A stabbing apparatus. This looks like horns coming out of the head, forehead, eyes, nose, mouth, chin, neck. This is an entity, an extra terrestrial energy that has been speaking through Charlie. This is a C for Charlie and spewing this energy. So whatever Charlie, I understand some people liked him, but make no mistake what this is saying. What Charlie was speaking is coming from this extraterrestrial witch. And this extraterrestrial witch is attached to the three-eye atlas, which we've explained, which is also attached to Erika. And this energy has been speaking through this hidden mouth here. And this is the energy that it has been putting out in the world. It has not been good. And look, it has CCC here. So that's Charlie. And then it has E here for Erika. So, but here's the thing, let that be that for now. But look, that reptilian that's showing up with Charlie, entangled into Charlie, was showing up behind the eye, the left eye of Erika Kirk. These are three eyes, also representing three-eye atlas. The three-eye atlas is a grand wizard mothership to bring this into our biosphere, to literally stop the ascension, cutting your connection off from the neck. There's an area in the neck called the atlas and the C1 vertebrae. The C is the third letter in the alphabet, therefore 3I. So not only cutting off the 3I vertebrae here in the neck region, cutting that off will not allow your atlas, your neck, to look and have different perspectives. Therefore, keeps you trapped in linear thinking. And if you're cut off from your atlas, you're cut off from ascending to higher spheres of consciousness. And so the three-eye atlas energy is the grand wizard mothership that is coming here in our biosphere to control and siphon and feast off of our energy. So we have an eye here, and then this eye looks like a pupil. And then this is showing up on my left side when I look at it like this. That is the reptilian behind Erika's left eye. And when I look at this C here, this C or swirly energy, this is also showing up on my left. So if we were to align these two things together, this reptilian is attached to both of their left eyes. Erika, left eye, almost really look, literally, almost just at the same height, just a slight difference. Erika's left eye, Charlie's left eye, reptilian. His eye, the reptilian's eye is here, Charlie's eye is here. It's because the reptilian is freaking attached to the eye nerve. And siphoning Charlie, see, here's the thing. Oh my God, I just got it. You see all this energy coming out of the back of this reptilian? That's Charlie's real energy. That's his true natural self, which I know this is going to sound crazy. I think Charlie is a beautiful soul. I didn't like none of the stuff he was saying. But as I tap into his energy, I never get anything innately evil. I never get that. Unlike when I tap into Erika, it feels cold and sterile and you know, it's just opposite. What I'm telling y'all is peep this. His true self in consciousness, the reptilian's like, nah, give me that. I'm gonna push that back here, probably siphon it somewhere. And you know what I'm gonna do for you, Charlie, is what it's saying. I'm gonna stay, talking through you, and you're gonna speak what it is I want you to speak. This poison, this mutation. This ain't well, so when Charlie's talking and he's, showing up to these campuses and debating these young kids and young adults, that's a lot of the stuff is the entity. Because if we're being honest with ourselves now in hindsight, even though it's fun to look at people who rile people up, it's fun, right? It's entertaining, but it wasn't very, wasn't very godlike, like how he was doing it, because it wasn't him. It was the reptilian working through him. And this grand wizard witch is overseeing the whole thing. And so here's the mouth of Charlie for C, and it's spewing this thing out. This mutation energy caused by the mutation of the cross, which, think about it, it wasn't Christian like. So it's the mutation of the cross giving the X, right? And I want to line something up here. That's the reptilian. Reptilian siphoning Charlie's true self, sending that somewhere. It feels like I need to move it like this. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. We got to, you see that? Okay, I'm going to fold this over. Let me see. These are the source codes, y'all. You see that? Look at that reptilian. This is the Charlie's mouth. It's the reptilian using Charlie's mouth to spew out a mutation to the nation. And this reptilian, look, it has CCC on it. That's a lie. You a lie in a handbasket. Reptilian. I remove reptilians and grays and demons and entities for a living. And these reptilians are tricky. He's trying to literally cloak these messages and say, oh, it's Charlie. It's Charlie who did it. Look, CCC. No, it's you. Because I see you. You're siphoning out Charlie's consciousness back here. And you are the one feeding him stuff through this mouth, a mutation to the nation. And then look, he wants us to see it like it's Charlie. So he's making an energy signature that, no, that's Charlie's energy signature. No, it's not. It's the reptilians. So this is interesting, guys. I think this just blew the case wide open. I gotta laugh because like the stuff it's kind of so like it's weird. It's unserious, really serious, and kind of strange and supernatural all in one breath. So I kind of got to laugh, but really, girl, I'm like, oh, what? Like, what is this? So, guys, the reptilian is attached to Erika and attached to Charlie. Now we could say this, guys, because just because you leave this God's green earth, you would think, well, the reptilian would just go away. Nope, that ain't what happens. That's why I'm telling you, that I wish that, and I don't want to say I wish the religion would teach the truth. It's that they don't know the truth. Everyone has been Christianized. They've just been told one doctrine, and then the government controls them with the tax credit. And then they just get stuck into a doctrine. But in truth, you don't get free and sovereign just because you pass away. You have to remove the entity. You're in a soul contract with these entities. The reason why we keep getting recycled because they're all working together. The draconian reptilian, the archons, right? And they work with the 12 zodiac gods. I think the archons are the 12 zodiac gods because it's an energy and you are forced to live under their energy every single month. These are things that I want you guys to understand that we have to remove these entities. And when you come into your understanding as God, as the Christ energy, you were literally born of God, source God energy. There isn't any way to ever be without it. And when you truly embody that, you will have the authority. What's it say? It even says in the Bible to tread on what the lion and the scorpion or something like that. You will have the authority. And once you have the authority, you can get free from all of these false soul contracts. You will not get free, even in death, if you don't know what's happening. And I believe, remember, Charlie is Operation Charlie, and Charlie represents C for the collective as well. So when we zone out, this is a very multidimensional channel, and we're looking at this on a multidimensional level, on a macro level. All of humanity gets recycled via through the same energy. And the energy and the entity is not just one thing. And the Antichrist will not just be one thing, it will be a whole conglomerate of the field, the fake field that they put us in. And that field is government. That field is literally school systems, churches, religions. Every structure that they gave to us will be part of the Antichrist system. and is part of the same reptilians that and archons and demiurge and Yaldabaoth energy that keep recycling our soul. It's a massive network and it's a massive field. And this is why you can't get free, because you don't understand that it's an energy field. And in order to get out of the energy field, you literally have to shatter this paradigm. And you have to literally reject everything that you ever thought was true. And then you have to go on your own pilgrimage, a journey of self exploration to explore these things yourself. And then this is how you win yourself back. You have to buy yourself back out of bondage. You have to give them their things back, like Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. And Charlie is like, I don't want nothing from you, man. And that's why he got everything, because he wasn't greedy, he wasn't gluttonous. All those seven deadly sins is what gets you in bed with the entity. Truly, you are God, but they have to trick you into lowering your frequency. And then that's how you become susceptible to the attachment. And we can get the attachment when we're sick, when we're lowered in frequency, when we literally have surgeries, it happens. It's so easy. These people, these entities are lurking in the corners for just any moment that they can get one of us. And this is the true Satan. What they don't tell you. This is the true kingdom of darkness. And they're everywhere. Like if we were to have like a light and look at the field of, all around us, and we have a light to expose this, there are creepy crawlies every freaking where. And how you can control them, these parasitic vamping energies, is to keep your vibrations high and to keep control of your mind. Every thought is not yours to entertain. There are a lot of messages I get. I never come here to say it because not every thought is for, YouTube. Not every thought is for me. Not everything is for me to do. And so you have to be selective with your thoughts, because as the world pushes more into the AI totalitarian world, you got to get really sure on what is you, what is your voice, internal voice, and what is the voice of AI. Because remember, we found implanted thoughts in Erika Kirk. Erika Kirk seems to be a shell, a holographic shell. She has been taken over long ago, long before Charlie. And I think, to be honest with you, it's coming through now in hindsight. If Erika had never entered into Charlie's life, Charlie would have never got the entity. I mean, maybe if he would have been in bed with the elites, he would have eventually had to take the oath and get soul tethered up with the reptilian dragon. I'm hearing reptilian dragon. But Erika made his field. She was priming his field through, remember the sex magic she was doing that we found out, and the everyday witchcraft. And she had a way of playing with his mind. She was trained in mind control combat. She was priming his field for the implantation of the reptilian. Yep. So there is so much more. I just want to point one other thing out of why I'm telling you this is Erika and Charlie. You see these tongues down here? These look like tongues. So you got three eyes up here. And then you got a bunch of tongues down here. Tongue, tongue, tongue. These are tongues. This is like a beast we're looking at. This is her field. Here's the witchcraft energy in her heart. There's that nail. So we got witch energy. We got the three-eye atlas, the AI Grand Wizard mothership coming. We got a bunch of tongues here, representing the beast and like demonic energy. And then we get this tongue up here. And then we get a C here. This tongue talking to Charlie. This tongue influencing Charlie. This tongue making this thing a vibrational match to anchor Charlie's feet down. So when I said in the beginning, and people got mad at me, remember when I was talking about Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk are sharing a field because both of their feet are anchored down? And when I said that there was an entity that I found, a reptilian in Candace Owens' field, people were mad. But both of them are being anchored down. Candace Owens' feet shows up in the same way. And look, Remember, I said Charlie's body's not sovereign? Look, the face and the neck and the body of this thing is anchored down Charlie Kirk's feet. So who's anchoring both Charlie and Candace down? It's the reptilian. And remember, we did the entity removal for Candace Owens. You can't make it up. And remember, I also said that Erika Kirk was priming Candace as well. So it kind of makes sense that they would all kind of, when I say in bed with the entity, it doesn't look like Charlie is per se in bed with the entity, or rather, he was primed for the implantation of this energy. He was primed for it through Erika. Candace Owens was literally shut down in one of her pictures, and she was primed. She wasn't in bed with them per se. She was primed for implantation. But Erika Kirk was a willing participant. This is what I see in the energy field. And she was taken a long time ago. And now she's a shell of herself. She's some holographic shell of self that these entities can body hop into. If you get too close to her, she may prime your field too for implantation, is all that I'm saying. Okay. So I think we will leave this video here. Thank you so much, Gail, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Erika was honeypot. Yeah. So guys, this is getting deep. Do you see how if we just get away from what it is that we want and what it is that we feel and just follow the energy? You know how they say follow the money, and you'll see the corruption. Follow the energy. Energy will can't lie. And these reptilians, they shapeshift, girl. They can shapeshift. They can cloak. But eventually I will see them. This is what happens in my sessions. They come in and I'm like, I think you got an entity. And then they'll be trying to be like, oh, it's a gray. Oh, it's a snake. Oh, it's no, it's you. It's a reptilian, girl. Because they cloak and they try to throw it off like it's someone else doing it and not them. That's why it took so long. 28 videos in to reveal the reptilian that was in fact in charge the whole time. All right, guys. Oh, $10 for you to get better paper and notepad. I know, right? Well, here's the thing. So I never I never knew that I would start this series out. I did not. I just did one initial thing and then it just took a life of its own. And I just was so like ripping it off, drawing more and drawing more, where it kind of turned into a psychic investigation. So yes, I will get more paper. And you know what? I will get well, girl, hold on. Why don't you give me $10? You talk about somebody else's money. You even spent somebody else's money. Why don't you send the $10? Or sorry, sir, if you're a sir. But I'm just saying, guys, I didn't know this would be like this. But yeah, I think I'll use Sharpies, right? And then it will be too much if I use dry erase boards because I want to go back and compare the drawings. So I won't do that, but maybe some better constructed paper and something darker where you guys can see. Okay. So, all right, guys. Thank you. I'm being silly. Sir, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, I will get some better paper. You're right. The French is ghetto, girl. I know it's ghetto. Okay. It's ghetto, but it's okay. I got you. I got you. Okay. We it's a work in progress over here, right? Um okay, guys. So that's that. I love all you guys so much. And at the end of the day, it's much bigger than all of this because this is, y'all, they're trying to point us to us. How can we learn from this? We can learn from this that there are literally entities that want our soul. And I wish that the church spoke more about this. Because do you know how much we could get delivered in church if the churches would be like, hey, there's an entity here, there's an entity there. Oh my God, we could literally fix the problem for good. But no one's doing this work. I wish that the churches would start doing that. Do you know how many demons will be pouring out of people on the Sunday pulpit? I'm just saying, like, it would be very beneficial. And then when we literally cleanse ourselves on a cellular level, then we can expand to unity consciousness. Because remember, the new earth vibration is unity consciousness, and we can't get there divided. This is all for fun. And we go different angles and whatnot. Subscribe to the channel, y'all. Like the video, we go different angles, but in truth, guys, it's all love, because I recognize that literally we are all one and we are all sharing one consciousness, and so we must evolve as one. It's an individual ascension, but a collective rising. And so this is the whole point, for us to see these things, clear them out, and for us to expand to higher realms of consciousness as a collective soul body. Okay? All right, guys. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye.